So the question is, Liam Brady, what's gone wrong?
Well, we were together last night, Bill, and we saw the performance, and well, there was no performance really. They weren't good enough in creating anything. They made mistakes, errors in possession of the ball, and one of the things that we noted as well was that they weren't good enough at getting the ball. The Algerians had loads of time on the ball, and England were never really in the game. You know, they were never really controlling the match
Against opponents.
Well, against an opponent,
really,
that you would have expected them to dominate.
Yeah.
Very worrying performance, indeed.
Now, one of the things that's emerged out of all of this is that there are suggestions of tensions in the England camp now, because David James, he hinted at them and said when he was talking about the decision to make him the goalkeeper just before he got on the bus. He just discovered it. And in fact, the former England manager, Graham Taylor, has backed the comments of James, claiming his comments signal that all is not right in the England camp. Do you go along with that?
Well, I wouldn't like to be a goalkeeper in the position that Capello's put his goalkeepers, when he's only letting them know a couple of hours before the game who's going to be playing, and I don't think that's right. We discussed this at length last night, Bill. I think it puts enormous pressure on that particular goalkeeper, and it doesn't make for a good preparation for going into a big game like a World Cup game.
Has the glasses worn off a bit, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, but they're together a long time now, and when results go bad, generally the press start to hint that there's trouble in the camp. You know,
whether there is or there isn't.
Yeah.
Graeme, you've got a theory. What do you think has gone wrong?
I think the preparation has been wrong, Bill. I think they're suffering from living at altitude. Out of the 3 games, they will only play one game at altitude, but it's living, training, having leisure time at altitude. And I've done a wee bit of research on this, because after '86, the World Cup in '86, where I played with Scotland, I really suffered from it. And nobody can tell you how an individual will perform at altitude. Some can get away with it, some really struggle with it, and some just can't cope with it at all. Well, I fell into the 3rd category in Mexico.
In what way could you not cope with it?
I just had no sparkle, couldn't run. I had no sharpness, no energy. And I believe that England have got the preparation wrong. Now, this is the theory, not my theory. This is a lot of specialist theory, that England have gone to live and train at altitude in Rustenburg. And for the first 3 or 4 weeks you're at altitude, your body is run down. Your starting point's there, your body's
losing oxygen or something, is it?
Well, what's happening? Your body, you're in a rarefied atmosphere. Your body's demanding oxygen. What's happened? Where am I? I'm in a different environment. Your brain is telling your kidneys, I need more, without getting too technical, EPO, which helps you produce. It's a growth hormone which helps you produce more red blood cells, which enables you to push more oxygen through your body. So for 3 or 4 weeks, that's happening. So you're going down and down and down. And then after that period, you start to recover. Now, England are going to be at the worst possible stage they can be at for next Wednesday's game. Their body's still down there.
Oh, really?
They're going to be in desperate trouble on Wednesday. Normally, you'd put your house on England when the chips are down.
But did you see in the performance in Cape Town, which was at sea level, did you see all the characteristics?
Yeah, because they're living at a thin air atmosphere. Their body's being run down all the time in Rustenburg. And then they're going to play at sea level, but their bodies are run down. You can talk all you want about tactics. You can talk all you want about formations. All you want about this pair doesn't work with that pair, this one doesn't work with that one. Unless you're first to the ball in a football match, you're not going to play well. England, in the 2 games they've played, have been second to most of the balls. They're never on the front foot. They never have enough of the ball. They give it away. They can't get it back quickly, which is always a sign of a fit team. If you give it away, you get it back immediately. Think of Barcelona. They give it away, they get it back immediately. They press high up the pitch, the English way, get it back immediately. And they're run down, they're tired.
Okay, well,
the preparation has been wrong, in my opinion.
That's an astonishing thing to say, though, because you would imagine going to the World Cup that the medical team would have said this is the right way to prepare, and they surely wouldn't make such a fundamental error.
They have.
They have.
I know a wee bit more than I'm prepared to say right here.
Okay, all right. Let's look at Liam. Look at the performance. We've a couple of clips from last night that indicate there's something wrong.
Well, certainly what Graham has to say was played out yesterday in Cape Town, because the English players looked sluggish. Time and time they miscontrolled the ball, they gave the ball away, they had no sparkle at all. Rooney looked tired going into the last half hour. Usually Rooney will go and go and go, but he looked very, very tired. And, you know, they were just giving the ball away. Gerrard and Lampard found it difficult. Lennon, here he is, you know, never got past his full-back once. And perhaps, you know, Graeme might be spot on with this. Perhaps they are suffering this.
Yeah, but curiously, Graeme, nobody has mentioned it. Nobody has mentioned altitude. In all the criticism of England, nobody said, for a minute, hang on a second, this is oxygen starvation kicking in.
Bill, I can't tell you how badly.
Rooney made a right mess of that, didn't he?
I can't tell you how badly it affects you. Like, it killed me. I mean, I always prided myself on being, you know, in the top group at whatever distance we were doing. I always prided myself on looking after myself and being a good trainer and being as fit as I possibly could. I went to Mexico, my last World Cup, and it killed me. And I had no complaints with Alex Ferguson, who was manager at the time. He left me out for the third game against Uruguay, having played against Denmark and West Germany. What happened to me, we had 3-4 weeks after that, and I was starting a new job. I was going to become player manager of Glasgow Rangers. When I went back, having spent a month at altitude, 2 weeks in Santa Fe in America preparing for Mexico, and 2 weeks in Mexico, when I came back for pre-season training, a month later, I was flying. I was 34 years old, and all the runs we did at Jordan Hill College in Glasgow, I was miles in front of everybody. I was a 34-year-old. And England, as I said to you, are going to be at the lowest point on Wednesday. And when these players come back from pre-season, they're going to be in great nick.
They'll be flying.
They'll be flying. Clubs will benefit.
They should be flying over there, Bill. They've been, you know, 2 years this has been. You've been building yourselves up for this. And if Graeme is right, it's a disastrous mistake.
It's a disastrous mistake, I agree. Sorry, you were going to say something?
Bill, that I can't tell you. They have made such an error here. The Americans, who could have gone and spent any amount of time, and everybody's different, but the Americans went out there last year and played in the Confederations Cup. They've gone there this year. They've had no altitude training.
That's right. That was very interesting. Yeah.
And they could have gone to Colorado and had all the best of the best. And what they've chosen to do is stay at sea level and play the games so they can train properly at sea level and then go to altitude when they
weren't
have
lacking
to.
energy.
They weren't lacking energy yesterday.
But would this explain then the comment of Capello that he was dumbfounded? He said, "This is not the same team I know. This isn't the same team I see in training. But how can you train at altitude well and then play so badly at sea level?"
Well, when you're looking at a group of players in a training session, they're a yard short of max level. You don't want them to be at max level. Then, you know, you can twist and get injured. So he's looking at a group of players that are training well. But I can't believe they have made such a mess of this.
All right, well, if England have made a mess, so too